This beautiful live stream event. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am, of course, speaking right now to everybody who's going to be catching this on the replay. As we wait for the room to fill up for the live stream itself, sending you so much love, so much appreciation as we begin eclipse season. The new moon in Pisces is kicking us off, and it is occurring tomorrow evening for those in the Northern Hemisphere, and you can adjust for your place in the world. It is a big, beautiful, beneficial, just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous energy that we are working with. This entire first half of eclipse season here is there really aren't any words to describe what it is. It's powerful. There's a lot going on. We have this massive stellium in Pisces moving into Aries here. Aries right now, not super full during this new moon. It's primarily Pisces energy and action here. We got the sun and the moon at 9 degrees of Pisces. We've got Saturn at 20 degrees. We've got Mercury at 24 degrees. We've got the North Node at 27 degrees. And we've got Neptune at 28 degrees. We also have Ceres at 1 degree of Pisces. So adding in that extra nurturing energy, that extra sensitivity, if you will, that beautiful divine feminine energy. And then we have Venus over at 10 degrees of Aries and Chiron at 24 conjunct Eris or Chiron at 20 conjunct Eris at 24 degrees of Aries. So there is a big swath of energy here. And as we move through March into the beginning of April, as we've discussed previously, we're going to see some of these planets switching up, some of them moving into Aries, some back into Pisces. We have Venus getting ready to go retrograde a few days after this new moon on March 1st. So she's going to move from 10 degrees of Aries back into Pisces. She's going to re-enter the sign of Pisces on the 27th, and she's going to complete her retrograde at 24 degrees of Pisces on April 12th. So that is a big energy that we're preparing for as well. We're going to have Mercury moving on into Aries. And then the day after we have that Virgo lunar eclipse, we're going to have Mercury go retrograde and then move back into the sign of Pisces as well. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of push-pull. And then, of course, on the 30th, the day after the new moon eclipse in Aries, we're going to have Neptune shifting from 29 Pisces into 0 degrees of Aries. So that's going to be the big mover. That's going to be that's one of the moments that we've all been waiting for. And of course, Aries will go retrograde. Neptune will go retrograde later on this year back into Pisces and then re-enter Aries. But this is that transitional energy here. This is the year where we are stepping into this really beautiful spiritual empowerment, where we are becoming those conscious creators, where we have that beautiful Neptunian mystical energy, that oneness principle. But we also have that courage and confidence in who we are and where we're going. We have that self-sufficiency energy of Aries coming in, really breathing some energy and some fire into that Neptunian energy and really empowering us to step into and embody more of our spiritual light, more of our divinity. So this Neptune entering Aries is a big, big energy. And this eclipse season is really preparing us for that transition. So that is one of the biggest and best and brightest aspects of this eclipse season. It's all about aligning us with our soul and empowering us to embody that energy in the world. So I'm going to check out the comments for a minute here and welcome people in, and then we're going to get going a little deeper into the energies of this new moon and eclipse season here. Hello, Amber. Hello, Professor is that Professor AI? Hello, Maud. Hello, Khan. Hello, Sumit. From America, if you couldn't tell. Hello, Salam, Mickey. World of Ragus from Munich, Germany. Wonderful to see you here. Yes, lots of inner sunshine and a little bit of outer sunshine kind of moving in and out, where we're beginning to see the sun peeking out and making itself known where I live in the northeastern part of the United States. Hello, Jack Star. Hello, Michael. And of course, Annika and Dee. We just came from our Patreon call, which was beautiful. We tapped into a lot of energy in our meditation, a lot of collective energy, a lot of collective heaviness. And so some may be feeling this as we're moving through this new moon, because Pisces is a collective energy, and Pisces is very much the energy of the empath. And so all of my empaths are going to be feeling, especially like what I'm getting is on edge. Like some of my empaths are going to be feeling on edge here as we move through this energy. And that's just because we are tapping into that collective field of energy. And there's a lot that's shifting, a lot that's moving throughout the collective. We are in this powerful transitional period, sort of the pre-transitional period, I guess you could say, 2025 to 2027, as we are beginning to prepare ourselves physiologically, emotionally, mentally, in a sense, for this powerful transition within our DNA as we enter that period of 2027 to 2034, when we are really grounding in on a DNA level the new human and what it means to be that new human operating within this new earth framework. So it's a really powerful time. There's a lot with all the light codes coming in, everything that's unlocking and activating within our DNA. This preparatory stage is basically clearing out the gunk. And it's aligning us with that higher timeline and that higher perspective and trajectory for our energy. But it's exposing a lot of these lower energies where they still exist in our lives as well. So we're going to be noticing that. We're going to be noticing these cycles, because remember, Pisces represents that 12th energy in the zodiac, the 12th house, the completion energy, when we merge back into oneness. So with that completion, there's a lot that we're releasing. There's a lot that we're letting go. We've been talking about the age of Pisces here as well, how we're closing that out as we step into the age of Aquarius. So there's a lot of closing out energies. We've been talking about this on multiple live streams, how this is a 9-year, the endings and the beginnings, as well as that energy of mastery. And so as we're moving through this energy here, we are in this process of, I got distracted by the all is illusion comment, because that's true. And that's a very Neptunian statement, right? Neptunian is the planet of illusion. Neptune is the planet. And so we're seeing a lot of those illusions, right? That's one of these things as we're closing out the cycle of the illusion, where we bought into the illusion as the reality, right? And we're in this process as we're closing out the age of Pisces of really beginning to question our reality to a whole new level. And as Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, moves into Aries, we're beginning to see how it is that we can manipulate that illusion and really turn that into whatever it is that we desire to experience. How we are the creators and the crafters of this illusion. So it's a really beautiful, empowering time to be working with that energy individually as creators, and to begin to be seeing how when we step into that role individually in our own lives, that ripples out into the collective. And as we move forward through the age of Aquarius, we're going to be seeing more and more opportunities where we can come together collectively to begin shaping that collective illusion, that collective dream, so to speak. Hello, Madam Chakra. Welcome. So happy to see you here with us today. So there's going to be a big focus as we're moving through here into the age of Aquarius, of communities, of connections, of coming together to dream that big collective dream. And we're seeing right now sort of where we are. It's like what's been being revealed to us. The Holy Spirit sort of like showing this to me right now is like the collective dream that we dreamt when we were asleep. But now we're becoming lucid dreamers. And as we become lucid dreamers, we're noticing and we're realizing that we have the ability to affect that dream, to mold that dream to what it is that we would like to experience. So become the lucid dreamer. That is one of the invitations of the new moon in Pisces and of this entire eclipse season and really all of 2025, really this entire human experience, right? If we want to continue that analogy, that's what it's about, becoming the lucid dreamer. And so we're going to be shown where we are along that process. And we're being given this really powerful opportunity to align our energy, to align our frequency with our higher self, with that highest trajectory for our energy, and what it means to be that new human within this new reality, within this new dream that we are creating. I love that, Dee. You are such a dreamer. And a lot of times, like in the old world that we used to live in, right? That was kind of like an insult in a sense, to a certain extent, even when it wasn't, you know what I mean? Or sometimes it was a little bit of like maybe like a little bit of a jealousy thing, right? Because that dreaming is kind of squashed out of people. But it's such a beautiful thing to be a dreamer. And this energy is, it was one of the readings or live streams that we did recently where we talked about the energy of daydreaming. And how, like, what that really is us sort of feeling out and sifting through different realities, different dimensions, different possibilities for our lives to see which one we want to embody. So I really liked that. It's sort of like trying them on. It's kind of felt like, you know how when you go to a store and you're buying an outfit and you're trying on the different outfits to see what fits right, to see how it feels when it's on you, how you move in it. It's sort of like the same thing. Like when we daydream, we're trying on different realities to see which one fits, to see which one aligns with us, to see which one excites us more. Madam Chakra, that's interesting. So I only really started dreaming frequently over the last few years. Before that, I didn't really dream at all. I mean, from the time I was like 16 until I was 25, I was also doing a lot of really heavy drugs. So a lot of those were shutting down my third eye. So like when I was asleep, it was eventually more like I was just passed out. So like that makes sense why I wasn't at that point. But there was still, it was like, it took a while to open up the third eye, because that's what it really is, right? When we're dreaming, it's that opening up, it's that activating of that pineal gland and that third eye. So over the past few years in particular, and it's gotten more and more pronounced. Now it's like when I go to sleep at night, I pretty much know that I'm guaranteed to have multiple dreams. I'm dreaming pretty much the whole time I'm asleep, but it was not that way for a long time. Or they say you always dream, you just don't remember your dreams. So perhaps it was that. But it's been really interesting beginning to dream again, because I dreamed when I was a young child and then I didn't dream for a long time. So it's like every time I go to sleep, and sometimes it's a new dream, sometimes it's the same dream that I'm just like getting back into because I wake throughout the night. I wake up, go back to sleep, wake up, go back to sleep. We all do. That's what I learned having a toddler, is everyone does that, but a lot of people aren't really conscious of it because they don't really fully wake up. I'm pretty conscious of it when I do it. But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to be like, ooh, I wonder what I'm going to be dreaming about next and where I'm going to go. And yeah, dreams are fun. And right now the dreams are going to be, I think, even more pronounced. And for some people, they're getting quite intense. They're getting quite vivid. As we're, ooh, yeah, and Spirit's saying this is a really vivid portal of energy where your soul family, your soul tribe, if you have like a twin flame or a divine counterpart for some people as well, they're going to be reaching out from beyond the veil, so to speak, from these other dimensions and like connecting with you through your dreams. So some people are going to be experiencing that as well. And it's just a natural thing that's going to happen. You're going to feel it. You're going to notice it within your dream state if that message is meant for you specifically. And it's also a process of this is interesting what Spirit's bringing through right now. So it's like this is a process of integration with our higher selves within our dream time as well. And so it's sort of like when we're asleep, because we talked about this merging with our higher selves, right? And how we began this process in earnest during the Lionsgate portal last year. And so as we are essentially, you can think of it like downloading more of your higher self's energy into your physical vessel. because it is like we can only contain so much of our spiritual energy at one time within this vessel, particularly when the earth was more dense and we were more dense. As we become lighter, as our DNA begins to evolve, as the planet and the energy becomes lighter as well, more of that soul's energy is able to integrate within the body. And for some of us, it's really necessary for the next, whatever our spiritual mission, our spiritual purpose on this planet, as we continue to move forward. In order to accomplish that, whatever that is, we need more of our soul's light in order to do it. So this period of time, this 2025, my nose is itching, so we know Spirit's really coming through right now. And especially this eclipse season, and this period from now through April, we are really having that integration. And for a lot of people, this integration is beginning in the dream state. This is where your own higher self is coming through, is mingling with your energy more. And it's almost like, it's sort of like, this is a weird analogy that I'm getting. It's like the analogy that I'm getting is kind of like when animals rub up against each other, and it's like their scent, they're rubbing their scent onto each other or something, like marking their scent. But it's not a territorial thing. It's like their energy. They're rubbing their energy. They're merging their energy with yours, and it's like they're preparing your energy to be more of a match to this next level of your soul's energy as it continues to merge with you. So I hope that made sense. I was trying to get that out in a way that was like somewhat logical and coherent, but it's like this beautiful preparation period. And it may happen with others in meditation. It's honestly happening all day long, right? Because we're existing on multiple dimensions. It's not just when we're dreaming. But like imprinting, sure, yeah, Madam Chakra, I like that idea. Sort of like imprinting, yeah. But it's really powerful within that dream state that this is beginning to happen. And so you may notice that as you're moving through your day, there's sort of like these little flashes of insight, or it's sort of like these little, oh, this is interesting the way Spirit's putting it right now. It's sort of like, you have these little moments almost where you sort of like glitch out for a minute is the only way that I can put it. Not in the way that like the weird like cabal robots glitch out. You know what I mean? Where you've seen them sometimes and their eyes going like this. And it's like, you know that the clone or whatever it is, like the programming is malfunctioning. Not like that in that weird, creepy way. But it's sort of like you just have this moment where kind of reality gets a little bit more fluid, or it's like you kind of lose a moment. You know what I mean? Or it's just like there's a different sensation, or you feel like a different energy kind of moving through you is kind of like the best way that I can put it. But it doesn't feel, it's not like in a creepy way. I want to put that, it might be a little bit unnerving, but it's like we can tell when there's something like nefarious going on because we can feel that energy versus when it's just kind of natural. It's or it could, however, how else could this take place for people? Hello, Miranda, by the way. I'm trying to think how else this could take place for people that Spirit wants to share as you're integrating. Well, it's going to be similar to a walk-in, is what Spirit's saying. And I meant to do a video on walk-ins for everyone, and I haven't done that yet. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. I still could do a video on that, explaining walk-ins. And if there's anything else you guys want a video on, let me know, please. I did the shadow work when somebody had asked about that. So I hope whoever it was that wanted that video saw the video. If you didn't and you're seeing this live stream, go on and check it out. It's essentially a type of walk-in, but this is a walk-in from your own higher self. And so a lot of the same integration aspects that people experience with a walk-in are going to be common. And for anyone finding this who doesn't know what a walk-in is essentially when there is a soul contract for another energy or essence to take over the body. And so, or to share the body. Sometimes it's a sharing of the body. A lot of times it's kind of like a swapping out where one soul swaps out and the other one comes in. Sort of like you know, in wrestling when they tag each other in, it's like that kind of a thing. Sometimes it happens. It's not pre-planned. It's simply when a soul can't take any more of this lifetime. They don't want to take their own life, but they need to transition out of this life. So they put out the SOS in the spiritual realms and another soul decides to come in. Sometimes it's pre-planned, like I'm going to use the body for this number of years, then you hop in and use it for this number of years. Sometimes it's sort of like a shared kind of thing where there's multiple souls operating within the same body. That one is a little bit more rare, I think, but it does happen. I've shared in some live streams and some videos that I think this is what's happening with our current president in the United States. I don't think he's aware that this is happening, but that's just my little 2 cents on the matter. But yeah, this is relatively common within the spiritual world, and it's becoming more common because of how coveted these bodies are, right, on this planet right now, because of what's going on here. Everyone wants to be a part of it. Everyone wants to be able to say that they were here. Everyone wants to experience this. And we're also needing higher and higher vibrational souls to incarnate onto this planet. And honestly, because of some of the things that people have taken into their bodies, not everybody is an appropriate vessel at this time for these high vibrational souls. So sometimes it's people that have been here before. Sometimes it's just like, I don't know, it's like a timeshare is the way I'm like feeling it right now. Like a spiritual timeshare, some of the bodies walking around here. So there's a lot going on. It's really powerful. But another type of walk-in is the type where your higher self, more of your higher self's energy essentially downloads or walks into the body. Sometimes this is really pronounced that it's almost like you become a completely different person. Sometimes it's very gradual and it's very subtle. That's how it's always worked for me. And a timeshare elf. So you'll know if this resonates for you. But essentially, like when you look at your life sometimes and you feel like you have quite literally been different people, and you're looking at different parts of your life, and it's not like you're dissociating in a trauma response kind of way, but it's more like you're just looking at certain parts of your life, and it's like you're viewing it from somebody else's experience. You have the memories, but you don't have the emotional connection to them anymore, and you just don't feel like that was you. That's a good indication that you've had sort of one of these types of higher self walk-ins. And they happen to different extents at different times, particularly if you've asked for it, as I have many times. We do receive what we ask for. And so when this happens, you can feel new spiritual abilities coming online. Sometimes you're integrating the trauma or releasing the trauma. Sometimes you have like these memory lapses. Sometimes you find your tastes are changing. Like all of a sudden you used to like this one food and now you don't like it, or you actually have an intolerance to it. And yes, this does happen naturally every 7 years. The body goes through this. But this also is something that does happen with walk-ins sometimes. It's just you notice your preferences changing. You notice your perspective changing. Not necessarily from anything that you did, but just like, it's like these shifts that are going on. And sometimes you notice that you just all of a sudden have the ability where it was that you felt like you wanted to take action on certain things, but you just hadn't been able to like push yourself to do it. All of a sudden it becomes a lot easier. And that's because this energy is integrating. So we're going to be experiencing a lot of that integration. And there's also going to be, like we said, a lot of these twin flame connections as well, where our twin flame is assisting us from the 5-6D or wherever it is that they're located. A lot of us may not be, whether we're scripted to come into union with our twin flame in this lifetime or not, they're assisting us from the 5D. A lot of us, like, that is where that energy is going. That's where that connection is coming from, that's assisting us in that way. But it's like, it's your own higher self. That's the biggest energy here, is merging with your own higher self, which many would argue is like the true twin flame journey, right? Your own masculine and feminine essence. How do you know if you have that contract, Madam Chakra? You don't know until you know. If you felt something inside you activate or light up when I said that, then it's quite possible that you do. And where you are in that contract will depend on your own personal experience. Like, are you the walk-in or are you the one that's about to experience one? Or is it one with your higher self? And those contracts, like if you have a contract with your higher self for more of their light to come into your body during this lifetime, which I think most of us do, honestly, because I think it's a natural part of like what the ascension process is. Like you'll know because it's naturally been happening your whole life to one extent or the other. And you may notice it happening more now. Poon says I have that very often. Yeah. Oh, interesting, Luke. So what is this spirit? What kind of communication do they have with you in the dream state? So it's not freedom from the world. We must experience freedom in the world, knowing we must remember that we are freedom. That freedom is not a set of external circumstances. Freedom is within. That's one of my greatest missions on this planet. That's part of what my soul came here to do, was to reconnect with that remembrance and to help people remember that they are always free. And we all have, I mean, that's all of our mission to a certain extent, but some of us are more connected to certain aspects of what our soul is here to experience and to share. And for me, it's freedom. That's what it is. That's what it's always been. We are always free. Hello, Faith, by the way. You're welcome, Ploon. I didn't think we were going to get into all of that here, but there you have it. So these powerful soul mergers here, and so like we said, this is like the preparation period. And so during this Pisces new moon and this eclipse season, our souls, our higher selves are in the process of continuing to merge their energy with ours, continuing to prepare our energy for the next merger, so to speak. We have, during this gorgeous new moon, a sextile going on with Uranus and Taurus. So this is a beautiful energy here. Uranus, the bringer of change, assisting us. Uranus taps into the Akashic records. Uranus taps into the quantum field. And so I really feel Uranus in this sextiling action as assisting in bringing through those downloads and bringing through this these activations that we were just talking about and these mergers that we were just talking about, and assisting us in that change, whatever the change is that wants to be initiated, whether this is a cellular DNA change, whether this is a change in our physical reality, whether this is an action that we need to take. And as far as actions go, we're also being assisted by the fact that we have Mars here trining this gorgeous stellium of planets in Pisces here. And I say this gorgeous stellium because they're not really directly, neither Uranus nor Mars, connecting with the sun and the moon, but because the sun and the moon are connected to Saturn and Mercury and the North Node and Neptune here, that if any of these planets are an aspect to any of those planets within those Pisces energies, it's like a chain reaction where they all connect. They're all activated. That's the energy of a stellium here. So it gives a wide breadth of energy here. And so Mars there, fresh out of his retrograde, Mars station direct on the 23rd of February at 17 degrees of Cancer. And he hasn't moved. He spent most of February at 17 degrees of Cancer. And he will, of course, I don't have my chart handy to scroll through. He'll be moving soon, right? As we move into the beginning of March. But he stayed really steadfast at that 17 degrees, which is an Aries degree. Actually, if we're looking at, no, it's not. Hold on. Is that a Leo degree? Hold on. So 12 is Pisces. Yeah, it's a Leo degree. So at a Leo degree, and so this is degree theory that I'm talking about for anybody who's interested. It goes, when we're looking at what the certain degrees represent, 1 through 12, 1 starting as an Aries degrees, 12 as a Pisces, and then it repeats, 13 is Aries again, and so on and so forth, up to 29, which is once again a Leo degree. That's how one set of degree theory goes, the one that I follow and I practice. And 0 is kind of its own energy. The way that I see 0 degrees, a lot of people see it as an Aries degree. They call it sort of like the birthing degree or the birthing point. I see it as sort of like the 0 point energy. And I see it as an energy that just amplifies whatever sign and whatever planet is placed at that degree. So it really amplifies their unique energy signature. That's the way I see that. And that's that's a 0 point energy, right? It's the clearing and the initiating. It's the space. It's the void of possibility before we spring into action once more with the first degree. Fourth house in Pisces. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The fourth house, a lot of people look at as very simply like the home, the family, the physical world, right? And our childhood. But I also look at the fourth house is one of the houses within the Trinity of the soul, which is all the water houses, right? So 4th, 8th, 12th house, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces houses. And there is this powerful energy with the fourth house where it really is the bedrock of the soul. So this is our deepest, most personal selves, right? This is the house ruled by the moon. This is the part of ourselves that not everybody sees. This is the part of ourselves that is most personal to us. And there's a very, very powerful energy here. And it really speaks to who we are as a soul, I think, at our core. And so there's a lot of feeling, there's a lot of depth within the fourth house. I have Pluto and Scorpio in my fourth house. So I have a lot of this. I have intense feelings about it. And it's a very powerful place for me. It is my power place, right? Where we find Pluto is our power place. And it's that sacred space that we cultivate, that we create. In addition to everything else, all of the more mundane things like, yes, our family, yes, our childhood, the family we create, the family we grew up with, our roots, some of our heritage, our ancestry. There's a lot to every house. And really, it goes as deep as you want to go with it. But yeah, having any water sign ruling one of the water houses is going to be an intense experience. Absolutely. And there's going to be very personal, deeply, deeply personal, like even more personal than the first house. A lot of people, because it represents our personality, people attribute to that being very personal when we have stuff going on there. It doesn't get more personal than the fourth house. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you have a lot of air in your chart, there can be a lot of resistance to feeling, absolutely. So you got to really delve into that part of yourself. You have to be very intentional with that. All right, let's see here. So yes, we're talking about Mars, right? Mars in Cancer, speaking of fourth house energy, and how Mars has been sitting here really learning a lot about himself. So this is our masculine energy, learning how to manifest, learning how to create from that feminine viewpoint, working with intuition, working with magnetism, working with emotion, understanding the value and the power of emotion. And what Spirit's saying is emotion has the power to drown you, or it has the power to, like, I guess, elevate you. Because there's not a good word. Drown was a really good word, right? But I wasn't feeling a good word coming up for the opposite. But you guys get that energy, right? We can either drown in our emotions, or we can allow them to transform us and to heal us, right? They can hurt or they can heal, depending on how we experience them, depending on how open we are to them, depending on how reactive we are to them, right? And we can react to them in two different ways, Spirit's saying. Like when I say react to your emotions, a lot of people think about somebody who's like hairpin triggered, you know what I mean? Who lashes out when they're feeling emotional, or who kind of spews their emotions everywhere. But when we run from our emotions, that's an action as well. When we bury our emotions, that's an action as well. And we've talked about this before. 2025 is not the year for that. 2025 is not going to allow that. Whatever we have buried within our subconscious, whatever we have buried within our emotional body, especially, is going to be revealed. It's going to be uprooted. And this eclipse season is going to be a huge part of that process for those who are requiring that. So don't fight it. Surrender to it. Allow it to move through you. Allow Pisces and Neptunian energy to do what it does and dissolve all of that. Dissolve all of those blocks within you to your own truth, right? Because your emotions, sometimes your emotions connect to places where you have denied your truth. So it's like allowing that. Allowing whatever wants to, like those of us who've been suppressing our emotions for a really long time, this could feel like an avalanche. Like there's probably going to be a lot coming up. So just let it move through you. This is an energy that is really asking us to no longer be afraid of our emotions. And I can honestly, like, I'm speaking about all of this. This is something that I can understand and relate to a lot. We'll put it that way. All right. I am a Virgo moon. I am somebody who a long time ago, and of course, this was another version of me, right? I'm still there's still areas where I'm working through this energy, right? I'm not completely on the other side of this spectrum. I still kind of move back and forth, but I'm learning, right? When I was younger, I really looked at my emotions and I said, okay, this one's okay. This one is weak. This one works. I can accept that one. This one, no, that's not an emotion that I feel. That's not who I am, and it was stuff like jealousy. It was stuff like envy. It was stuff like sadness. It was stuff like, whatever felt vulnerable to me. Anything that felt vulnerable, I was like, no, we're not doing that anymore. I spent a lot of time in my younger childhood years being bullied. I had a lot of that energy, which I'm sure pretty much everyone on this channel can relate to, right? Because we tend to be the underdogs. We tend to be the ones who are different, right? So a lot of people who recognized that and weren't very kind to me as a result of that, it felt like anytime I showed my true self, I would be ridiculed. I would be accepted for it oftentimes in the moment, but then ridiculed later. So it was like a trap that felt like it was being set. And there was a lot of disappointment. There was a lot of hurt. There was a lot of sadness. And it got to a point where I was like, no more. No, I'm not going to feel any of that anymore. I don't care. I am. And so I hardened myself to that. And it took me a really long time to allow myself to acknowledge that those emotions were there, right? Because I wanted to be like, no, it doesn't hurt me that you said that. No, it doesn't hurt me that you did that. No, I don't give a fuck, right? But like underneath that, there was still hurt. And so it's been a long time of unwinding that for me. And being like, it's okay to feel the things that you feel, right? It's okay to care what people think a little bit. Or a lot, if that's where I'm at, if that's where you're at. You know what I mean? It's okay to feel whatever you feel. And it's not a judgment about you. Just like nothing you've done is a judgment about you and who you are. It's an experience. It's something that you did. Like, understand what's underneath that, understand why, but let's not judge ourselves for it. All right, we're just all humans here doing the best we can, stumbling through this existence. Every once in a while, we find something that assists us, that helps us to shine a light in the darkness a little bit. Like we get really inspired to do that after we've stubbed our toe on the same damn sofa 100 times because we couldn't see it in the dark, right? And so we learn, we grow, but we came here to be bumbling fools. That's a big part of what this journey is. It's through the shadow that we illuminate the light, that we begin to understand and unravel the gift. And so embracing the fact that like we all came here to explore all of the little nuances of this human experience. As I'm learning more with human design and the gene keys, I'm learning more about the shadows that I came here to explore within myself, within the collective psyche. Right? And a lot of these shadows they're just what they sound. You know what I mean? They're not pretty. They're not wrapped up in a neat little bow. They're not what society tells you should be, right? Well, a whole chunk of society is truly being something totally different, right? Under the cover of darkness. We're not going to talk about that. All right. It's like the shadow is the shadow. The shadow is meant to be uncomfortable. It's meant to be perhaps a bit perverse. It's meant to be taboo. It's meant to be something that we don't readily want to like bring up in polite conversation, right? That's the whole point of it. Right? It's the darker side of the human experience. And we all have a dark side. We all have areas where we're selfish. We all have areas where we're envious. We all have areas where we're insecure. You know what I mean? Like it's just being human. So let yourself be human. As soon as you give yourself permission to be human, the whole world opens up for you. Right? Like give yourself permission to be human. To be a spiritual being having a human experience. And knowing that we're not going to be perfect, right? That full moon in Virgo is going to be helping us purge out a lot of that. That's on the 14th. 14th of March, the day before Mercury goes retrograde. You guessed it, in the sign of Aries. Mercury and Venus going retrograde in Aries in March, moving back into Pisces during their retrograde. All right, as we move deeper into the second half of the year, we're going to have Saturn moving retrograde from Aries to Pisces, as well as Neptune. This is a big year for that, dipping back into that Piscean energy. What did I miss? What do I still need to learn? What needs to be uncovered? What needs to be integrated? What needs to be dissolved? What needs to be surrendered? What needs to be released? And then back into that Aries initiating energy again. Yes, Annika, thank you for reminding anybody or everybody to go ahead and hit that like button. Anybody who's not involved in the chat who didn't see that comment, it really does help people to find these videos, to continue to encourage YouTube to send people to these live streams. We talked about a lot of really naughty stuff on the last live stream. So we don't know how the whole shadow banning and all of that stuff's going. There was an executive order passed to forbid that from happening, but whether that's actually being followed or not, we don't know. But it's all right. If we continue to share these messages with people that we know need to hear them, if we continue to also like the video, but sharing is a big thing. So if there's anybody that there's ever a video that would resonate with them, share it with them. All right. Because that's how we continue to get this tribe to grow. We don't have to depend on YouTube to do that for us. We can do that through continuing to share these messages and continuing to support this channel if you feel guided. If you don't, then, you don't. We know that Spirit's always going to bring together who is meant to find us in the perfect time that they're meant to find us. And that's all it is. All right. What else do we want to do here? Do you guys want to pull some cards? I'm looking at the chart to see if there's anything else that we missed here. What do we have? We have a little quintile action from Jupiter in Gemini here as well. So this is that expansion, bringing through, that's helping, assisting and bringing through our spiritual gifts, the continued integration of those, the continued stepping into those, that Aries energy. The Pisces energy is helping us to access those gifts. As we surrender our fears, as we surrender those traumas, as we surrender everything that's kept us blocking ourselves from accessing them. And then the Aries energy is what is inspiring us and giving us the courage to share them. That's what this is all about, aligning with our soul and having the courage to walk our soul's path. That is the energy of 2025 to 2027, coming into internal alignment and having the courage to walk that path. Because when we move into alignment, we have a trajectory of energy that our intuition is sort of like a path that our intuition is calling us down. Whether or not we have the courage to walk it depends upon how much we've been willing to release, how much conditioning, how much programming, how much fear we've been willing to release, or we have become willing to walk through. Because remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the determination and the decision to walk through that fear. And as we begin walking through that fear, we realize that it really wasn't all that we thought it was, that it truly was simply false evidence appearing real. Remember, worry is a misuse of imagination, and this Pisces energy is all about imagination. It's mystical, it's etheric, it's dreamy, all right? So dream yourself a beautiful dream. All right. Let's do Moonology. We're going to start with the Moonology manifestation. I feel like we used the Moonology decks recently, didn't we? But I'm really feeling called to use them again. And as I'm shuffling, did we mention all of the really fascinating transits that we have lining up with all of these moons? So Pisces new moon, 27th, 28th, depending on where you are in the world. On March 1st, a few days later, Venus stations retrograde. All right, so she's already slowed down to pretty much a standstill during this new moon. And then on the 15th, the day after the lunar eclipse in Virgo, we have Mercury stationing retrograde. And then on the 30th, the day after the new moon solar eclipse in Aries, we have Neptune moving into Aries. So Neptune pretty much still in the sky as well, essentially like shifting during that eclipse. All right, so that eclipse, I mean, these are all going to be massively powerful. On the 14th, that's a total lunar eclipse. So total eclipse. This is, sometimes we have partials, right? We have prenumbral. So this is where we're not having that complete enveloping. But with this total lunar eclipse, it's going to be like the energy of the total eclipse is powerful. So this is a huge reset. This is a huge clearing of energy here. Huge detox in a sense. Huge purge. Powerful revelations. And then that new moon, it's a partial solar eclipse in Aries, but it's a big one because like we said, Neptune is transitioning into Aries during that eclipse essentially. So this is like catapulting us forward in terms of our spiritual evolution. I can't wait. Clear. There is no waiting, right? Because it's here right now. It's happening right now. And that 9-degree point of Aries is very significant. 10 degrees of Aries. 10 degrees of Aries is where Venus is right now during this new moon and where she's going to remain as she stations retrograde, beginning her retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries. We have that new moon solar eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries. We have Mercury stationing retrograde at 9 degrees of Aries, right after the lunar eclipse, which is 23 degrees of Virgo for everyone who wants to know. And this, of course, is 9 degrees of Pisces for this new moon. But it's just really interesting, that point. And so we're going to have Venus retrograding because she's starting at 10 degrees. So she's going to go back to 9. She's going to move over that point and then back over it again as she goes direct and moves back through her shadow period. We're going to have Mercury returning to that point as he begins his retrograde there and is going to end shadow period there as well. So there's a lot of energy around that 9 degree of Aries point. And I'm going to look forward here because I feel like there's more happening later in the year. Let me check here for you all. Maybe there's not. Maybe it's just the beginning of the year where that point is so important. 9 degrees being a Sagittarian degree. No, I don't think there's anything, unless I'm missing it. But in the beginning of the year, that's going to be a big, so like wherever that point is in your chart, pay attention to it. Because there's a lot of shifting and changing around that 9 degree of Aries. And you can give that an orb of a few degrees to either side. Oh, Georgie, welcome. So happy you're here now. It's, you know, everything's always right on time. Beautiful. Maybe it's a time zone thing. It's always at 2 p.m. on Wednesdays, unless otherwise stated. And if it's otherwise stated, then we will, I'll post it in the community tab and I'll set a scheduled date for it so you can see it as an upcoming so that people know. Hello, Ty. Yes, eclipse energy is always right on time. Yeah. Yeah, anybody who did receive the V who is wanting to detox from that energy, or a hypnosis healing that I do assist with that. There are physical things that you can do as well. Email me if you want information on that. We can clear that from our energy, both spiritually and physically. It is possible. And the sooner you do so, the better. The more time you give it to marinate, the more it has time to affect the DNA. Clear. So let's dig into this energy, eclipse season. It's particularly anything that we need to know, because we're going to continue to do live streams. So anything we need to know, particularly right now, but throughout this swath of energy. And yeah, Annika, I know this is like a little bit late here, but that moonstone, could you see it more clearly than you could on the live call when I was holding it right then? It felt appropriate as we're talking about the moon energies. What do we need to know? All right, we have first quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. And look at the back, there's 3 moons. I'm being drawn to that right now, right? Because we're talking about this eclipse season. We're talking about, and obviously the phases aren't going to line up with what I'm saying right now, but we got the new moon, the full moon, the new moon again. And I'm being drawn to the one in the middle, the full moon. So I feel like for some people, that full moon is going to play a really powerful part in this process. And that could be the part of releasing the blocks. So it's like what Spirit's saying is that they're getting loosened up right now. Your blocks, the ones that need to be removed, the things that Neptune needs to or wants to, is offering to come in there and dissolve. And you're going to notice what this is for you, because as it's being loosened up, you're going to notice what's triggering you the most. Whatever is triggering you the most right now, as in when it comes up in conversation, when you think about it, when you hear about it, that is where your blocks lie. That is the area of your life where you have the biggest blocks that are ready to be released. And they're coming up to the surface. So they're like itching, they're scratching a little bit because they're about to break ground. So pay attention to that, recognize that, and know that your triggers are teaching you right now. They are showing you what blocks are wanting to be addressed and released. And Spirit's saying, this doesn't have to be complicated. All we need to do is become willing. Become willing, sit in meditation with an open heart and surrender. Your higher self will do the rest. You may have more tools being presented to you in your reality. If Spirit is presenting you with specific tools, pay attention to those as well, right? This is options that are becoming available to you, things that people are mentioning, whether it's, me mentioning some of the things that I do, like I do Bel Vespita in angelic healing of the heart. It works on the whole energy system, the whole being. It's quantum healing. It's a really powerful way to work through some of these energies to assist ourselves on every level of being with the ascension process. So that may be something. Or a raw Reiki entity removal session, which helps to remove some of these extraneous energies, which is something else that I do. An aura hypnosis healing session, past life regression, quantum healing. Some of those things, like you may be feeling called to work with something like that. If you're being called to work with me, please reach out to me. My email's in the description box below. I also do one-on-one coaching if you're looking for like consistent support. Somebody might be bringing something else up to you. They might be bringing up plant medicine. They might be bringing up, like I've talked about the gene keys a lot on here. Maybe you're getting curious about that, or astrology or human design to help you through this. Maybe it's somebody in your reality who is not necessarily offering something specific other than holding that space, or even being that trigger for you that helps you notice what's coming up within you, what blocks are getting ready and wanting to be released. Hello, Carl. Hello, Tara, by the way. We have new moon in Aquarius open up to change on the bottom of the deck. We say this all the time, right? Your old life is going to cost you your new life is going to cost you your old one, rather. Ooh, isn't that interesting the way that started to come out, though? Your old life is going to cost you your new one. That's what Spirit wants to remind everyone as well. If you hang on to your old life, to your old blocks, to your old belief systems and limitations, which you're free to do, your old life is going to cost you your new one, meaning you will not be able to align with that life, with that next version of you, with that highest template for your experience on this planet in this lifetime. It's your choice. So which version do you want to be true? Do you want your old life to cost you your new one? Or do you want to allow your new life to cost you your old one? It's your choice. And for some of us, maybe we're already living our ideal life. And so more power to you. Keep going on that trajectory. What I found is that the secret sauce, so to speak, is to love the shit out of my current reality instead of constantly focusing on what I'm creating, right? To be fully present and really love everything about my life right now. See all the beauty, see all the magic in it. be open to infinite possibilities, to miracles continuing to unfold, but to see my current life as a miracle as well. But this does not mean that I'm still not working through my blocks, that I'm still not listening to my subliminals, that I'm still not visualizing and having those moments of playing with the realities that I'm creating. But it's at the same time being fully immersed in this one, not allowing myself to live in the future, to tap into those energies, those frequencies, but to embody that here and now, and to be grateful and to call that energy into this current moment by knowing that I embody it all right now, right? Like we said, that I am free right now, that I am abundant right now, that I am magic right now. And allowing that to be the cascade of energy that causes everything to unfold. Hello, Solomon. It is so good to see you. I haven't seen you on a live stream in quite a while. I see you on TikTok quite frequently. I follow you on TikTok, but I haven't seen you. So it's great to see you. Everyone, check out Solomon, Esoteric Minds Media. TikTok, YouTube. He's awesome. He's a beautiful soul. D, you have no idea how aligned that comment is for me. He said, the blocks have been stacked carefully. Now it's time to be a 2-year-old and knock them down and let them scatter. So my son, we have these giant supersized blocks and we always stack them up and we make all these, like, it's fun for us too, right? We get to build stuff with them all the time. And he just loves to come in and knock them all down and throw them all over the living room. So we've got blocks everywhere all the time. But it's okay. He's having fun. He's enjoying himself. And we have fun every time we get to recreate something new, right? Awesome. Madam Chakra says she is connected with you, Solomon. Yeah, let us know how you've been, brother. We're talking about releasing blocks. We're talking about stepping into our power. We're talking about being open to change. Detoxify underneath that full moon in Taurus. We've been talking about that too. Anything else, Spirit? What do you want us to know? I love these Moonology cards, by the way. They're like, the card stock is so bendy. They shuffle probably better than almost any deck I've ever had. I'm just noticing that. I don't know if the original ones are as good as these manifestation ones, though. They really got their game together when it comes to the card stock here. Yeah, I know, right? We got a whole bunch of OGs in here. The links aren't working. Anybody who the links aren't working for on their phones, that Annika's putting in the chat, if you want to join the channel, if you want to join the Patreon as a member, the links are also in the description box of my videos. And those links are active. There is just something with the chat that we haven't figured out yet. Were you, D? Yeah, I mean, then maybe you were given a vision of that. Maybe you can tap in and see that energy. Yeah. Back on the right timeline. Or on, I mean, is there a right or a wrong one? There's definitely a more desirable one from our soul's point of view. So welcome back, brother. Glad to have you here with us in every sense of the word. We have first quarter moon in Aquarius, trust the universe, and last quarter moon in Capricorn. So from the first to the last, leave the past behind. Like we said, either your old life is going to cost you your new one, or your new life is going to cost you your old one. You decide. This is funny. So what Spirit's bringing through here is you prayed for something. You asked for something. You set the wheels in motion. So now, why are you resisting your blessing? Is it because it's not coming in the way that you thought? You trusted me when you thought I was going to bring you what you wanted, but now you don't trust me because I'm not bringing it the way that you thought it was going to come, because it's not arriving wrapped in the same package that you wanted or you expected. But if you once trusted me to deliver your blessing, trust me now. Trust me to know, to be able to see within your heart of hearts, to know and understand, even if you are asking me for one thing on the surface with your consciousness, Trust and remember that I know what you truly desire within your deepest heart. Trust that that is being delivered to you. As long as you align your vibration with it. Trust me. Trust yourself, because it's your own highest self that is orchestrating all the events that are bringing about what you desire, what you truly desire. Now I'm being called to the tarot for Reiki empaths and healers with my Lemurian quartz on top of it. So some of you may be called to connect with. Oh, that's so funny, because I've been playing with my moonstone here too. And I felt her energy. She was showing me how she's very connected to the energy of Lemuria, our original golden age of civilization. Many of you, we talk about Atlantis a lot. Not as many people talk about Lemuria, who was the precursor to Atlantis. So that Lemurian energy coming through heavy today. Some of you, there's memories waiting to be unlocked. There's codes within your DNA. There's secrets that were buried, or not even buried. I don't know if I want to use the word buried. There were secrets that were encoded within your DNA. The only place that they could be safely tucked away was within your very DNA. And they are coming to the surface now. They are becoming known because it's the right time. You had to carry them within your very DNA to safe keep them within your very DNA. And now's your time to remember. Whoever I'm speaking to right now, whichever sector of this collective, Spirit is asking you to write down what comes through, to record this, to begin a transcript of this. I feel like somebody, you're going to be writing a book, or you're going to be doing something of the sort where you're bringing through this lost wisdom. It was never lost. Like we said, it was encoded within you to be remembered and revealed and shared with the collective at the proper time. And it might eventually be a smaller segment of the collective. And then it becomes a larger, and you'll be guided when to share this more publicly and when to share it. Like, say, maybe you start a membership, or you start like a smaller community that's invite only, or it's, you put it out there and you trust and you set that intention that only the right people are going to be guided to that. And then on that other platform or that other place that's more private, you share this information first. And then you begin to release it to the greater public. Spirit's saying if you release it in a book, it's only going to find the right people in the beginning. And then it's going to, as more people are ready for that, it's going to continue to grow bigger. You've been doing that, Saul? That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, there's a very specific message for somebody. So it could be, obviously it's for you. It could be for a small collective of people. If it is and more people are resonating, maybe we need to connect with each other, right? But yeah, those codes are unlocking that wisdom, those secrets, that knowledge, and it is meant to be shared. And there's something really powerful and transformative about it. So maybe get yourself a Lemurian quartz. The Lemurian quartzes, they have all these beautiful striations. This is actually the code. This is actually the knowledge that they encoded within the crystals, right? So I feel like for somebody meditating with a Lemurian quartz or crystal is going to help bring through the channelings more profoundly. Michael. Clear. Maybe it's the full story of Lemuria that's wanting to come through. We know bits and pieces about it, but there's a lot that people don't know. Maybe it's that story. Maybe the book starts out as a fiction, but it's not really fiction, right? Maybe it goes through Lemuria and then Atlantis, which was part of Lemuria, and what happened, the fall of Atlantis and all of that. I don't know. Play around with this. There's some of you are going to be really bringing through some powerful memories. Well, stop procrastinating. Ain't nobody got time for that. Right? Which is a joke because when we procrastinate, feel like we have all the time in the world. We do have all the time in the world, really. But this is when the timing aligns. Oh, I'm so glad, Kimber. Welcome. When the timing aligns, we know it. When it's time to move, we know it. All right. So we have all the time in the world. Time is really an illusion to a certain extent, right? But at the same time, we know when we're meant to move. There's a time to lounge. There's a time to lay. There's a time to rest, and there's a time to move. So you know what time is your time. Yeah. That's all right, Madam Chakra. If they're coming out in spurts and they don't make sense yet, just keep writing them down. I have so many, and I wish that I kept them all in a box instead of like scattered around everywhere. But I have so many little like snippets of things that I've written down on napkins and little pieces of paper. It's like I find little poems that I've started over the years all the time when I'm going through my things. Just write down whatever's coming through, but try to keep it in one place. Do yourself a favor in that way, right? Nothing is by coincidence, Kimber. Absolutely. Especially today, we set really strong intentions. If you are finding this channel, you are meant to be finding us right now. So welcome. Welcome to the tribe. We hope you stick around. Hello, Randy. The end of time is enlightenment. We're moving towards an end. This 9 years is all about the endings and beginnings, right? But nothing, there's no end as far as the end all be all, right? There's only a transition from one thing to another. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Happy solar return the day before the new moon. That's a beautiful day to be born. I love it. With this, this is a great solar return for you because your solar return chart for the year is going to have this crazy Pisces stellium in it. Lot of powerful reconnection with your soul this year, Kimber. So, yeah, that's gorgeous. I love that. You are gorgeous. Oh, is it Earth Day too? Or is that what you call solar returns or birthdays? Is Earth Days? I like that. Oh, you're 55. 55 is a magical number. That is the number of change. It's a powerful shifting of energy, shifting of tides, especially as we enter eclipse season. And we have this, like we said, this powerful stellium of Pisces connecting us with our higher selves. Yeah, it's big. 55 is also the 55 gene key, is the key that represents the transition to the new human. So 55 is a big, big number. That's beautiful. Congratulations. It feels like a really powerful shift. I don't know why. I'm just getting this energy like this year for you is going to be huge as far as the shifts and transformation is the word that's coming through. Yeah. Yay! I love it. I love it. Mahashivratri today. What is that? Is that a Vedic or a Indian holiday? Oh, I like that, Madam Chakra. I've never heard that before. Earth Day, because your soul's incarnated into the earthly body. Oh, you love the gene keys, Kimber. I love it. That's so funny. I have a friend who has the 37th gene key in his profile. He was just reading about that before we got on the live stream today. Yeah. I love the gene keys so much. I am like diving headfirst into it right now. Anyone who follows me on Threads, I don't know if you guys, I don't think I mentioned that yet. I started a thread. Threads is actually pretty fun. So I've been doing a lot of quotes from the gene keys on there. Yeah. Yeah. Such a powerful way of understanding our evolutions of energies. Oh, I love that. D, staying alive at 55. A very wise man told me last year that life starts at 50. So you're 5 years into your life right now. That's that check-in point. That's that transition, like a deeper level of transitioning, I feel like, into this next layer of your journey. Kind of like the first 5 years after 50 are kind of like you finding your getting your sea legs again. And then you really start moving forward in terms of like this next phase of your evolution. Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody, check out the Gene Keys. Check out the Gene Keys. They are Richard Rudd. GeneKeys.com. Like this, I told all my loved ones, every single one of them is getting a copy of the original book, The Gene Keys, for their birthday this year. Every single one of them, because everybody should have this book, and everybody. I know I'm shooting all over you guys right now, but it's really powerful. The Gene Keys, really, it's becoming more and more people are becoming aware of it, but Madam Chakra. Absolutely. I mean, everybody, it's not an expensive book either. I think it was somewhere between 20 and 30 bucks. And you can get a free profile done for yourself online. You don't even need to buy the book. I would highly recommend it. But if you go to genekeys.com, you can have a profile generated. There's a free course where you can start learning about them a little bit on there. And, you can read and get a preview, and then you can delve deeper into, there's courses, there's events, there's books. I'm taking part in one of the events right now, the Star Pearl, I believe it's called, which is the next sort of alignment of Gene Keys. It's like a Merkaba shape that helps you come into a deeper state of harmony within all areas of your life and assists in the transition to the new human. So yeah, it's cool. Sorry, I get like giddy like a little kid when I start talking about the Gene Keys, because they're so cool. And this man he has this beautiful energy, this really beautiful, serene, kind, compassionate energy. It's just, he's beautiful, and he's like poetic the way he speaks. And when you start reading about the Gene Keys, it's just so beautiful the way he puts together the information that channels through. Richard Rudd, Rudd. He's British, I believe. Yes, that should be it, Madam Chakra, genekeys.com. All right. So let's, we got that finding a balance with the full moon in Libra. The Star Pearl, which is the 9-month event that I just joined, that's all about balance and harmony, finding the balance and harmony within our lives. Anything about that, though, Spirit, before we get into Spirit's saying, clear, get into the cards, and there'll be a deepening of the understanding of that. But Spirit is saying, as I'm shuffling, this find a balance also has to do with just finding that balance within yourself where you're not working so damn hard. And what I mean by this is like, yes, we're talking about release your blocks. We're talking about all this energy of continuing to do the shadow work, continuing to uncover what needs to be uncovered, allowing what needs to heal. But at the same time, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it in any aspect of your life right now. You'll get more done by doing less. I know it doesn't make sense to our logical linear minds, but it is true. All right, slow the F down is essentially what Spirit's saying right now. Find that balance. Find the balance between intellectualism and feeling, right? Find the balance between the masculine and the feminine, right? The doing, the giving and receiving, the doing and the being, between the spiritual and the practical, right? Ideally, everything becomes spiritual when we begin to infuse our spirituality into everything that we do, that perspective, that energy, right? We are spiritual beings, therefore everything is spiritual. But you know what I mean by this balance of spiritual and the practical, right? Balance the fun with the responsibility. You know what I mean? It's like, where do you need to find that balance more? That full moon energy, I think, is really going to show us where we've been out of balance as well. And relationships, Libra energy, that's going to be a big theme with the Venus retrograde going on throughout March as well, in the beginning of April. All right. So we have strength coming out with the Empress. And Spirit, because this was, I was trying to figure out, is this upside down or right side up? All right. Yes, Kimber, to all of that. It says work smarter, not harder, become the creator, not the consumer. Absolutely. So with this here, there's two ways this can go. We have unquestioned confidence with nurturing creator here. But on the flip side of that, we have smothering creator and exhausted endurance. So Spirit's saying these are two ways that we can experience our creational energy. One way is when we're in flow, when we become that point of attraction, when we magnetize to us the circumstances, the opportunities, the connections. This is when we're trying to force it. When we're trying to force it, when we're trying to exert our will, when we're trying to manhandle is the word that's coming through, right? Because this is very when we're in our unbalanced masculine, right? We're trying to control every single angle of a situation in order to get the result that we want, right? That is exhausting. We are not going to, if we are trying to operate from that old paradigm, that old way of creating, as we move into this new earth energy, this new human energy, it's going to become much more difficult to do. And it's going to exhaust us and drain us in ways that it didn't before. It's just not going to work the way that it used to for those who it used to work for. My right ear is doing this like in and out kind of like kind of thing right now. It's interesting. And this is what I'm learning. Honestly, what I'm learning, you guys, is I don't have the energy for this anymore. For this upside down energy, way of approaching the world. I just don't have the energy for it. I'm getting to that point where I'm just like, you know what? This is going to work out or it's not, right? This is going to happen or it isn't. And I'm okay either way. I'm not going to overexert myself. I'm going to show up and do what feels in alignment. I'm going to leave the rest to spirit. And I'm going to continue working on my frequency and vibration. But we're working on it by letting go, by relaxing. That's how I work on things now. Yes, I do some meditation. I go up into the Akashic a little bit. I play around. I release some energies. You know, I do my subliminals. I do my affirmations. I pay attention to the way that I speak. I speak very deliberately, more and more deliberately every single day. All right. I hold gratitude and love in my heart. I allow myself to be overcome with joy every single moment that I can with what is, and a joy and appreciation for what is. That's how I do the work these days. All right. I open myself up to infinite possibility, but like the toil and labor and like trying to think and to analyze and to be 10 steps ahead, what's going to be the most productive, what's going to be like, no, I don't have the energy for it anymore. I don't know about you guys, because that's not the way. We don't have to create like that anymore. All right. We don't have to do it. You know, I got really, for a little while there, I got really, invested in looking into like, all right, let me understand the algorithm of YouTube better. Let me understand this. Let me understand that. And now it's like, I hear those words and I cringe. I'm just like, I don't know. Like I'm working on my internal algorithm. That's the only thing I need to do. Everything else shifts from there. All right. My entire reality rearranges itself. My entire external reality rearranges itself as my internal reality rearranges itself. That's my only job, is to rearrange my internal reality, or to allow that process that's already underway of rearrangements by simply not resisting it, by not attaching and holding on to the old versions of me that are no longer relevant. That's it. That's all I need to do. And it doesn't even need to be a job. It can feel so beautiful and so effortless when we allow it. Flow state, exactly, Kimber, exactly. An astral walk, tell me some more about that, Solomon. So we got that 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, boom. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's what I'm talking about right there, all right? This is what we are building. This is what we are creating. But see, there's a community aspect here. You see all those hands together? I love that this is coming through. This is the message of like, you don't have to do it alone. This is why we build communities. God mode, exactly, Plune. God mode, miracle mode, whatever you want to call it. This is my ultimate dream right here. This community energy is so beautiful. This is what I want. This is what I am ultimately, my ultimate manifestation, is beautiful communities around the world where we live together, we create together, we offer our gifts to each other, to society, to those who wish to come experience a different way of life. There's community, soul tribe. We are calling it in. This is the age of Aquarius energy. That has been my biggest thing that I've been calling in lately. And I really want to know, like, how many of you would be interested, and would it be feasible for you to do some type of meet and greet where we all met up together somewhere? It would start out being in America because that's where I live. Wouldn't have to continue to be here, but probably in the beginning would. But who has the ability to do that and would like to do that? Oh, you're Canadian, so you're not too far away. You know, I'm feeling really called to Sedona again. Also really called, we had talked about the chakras of the world retreats, and so also feeling called to Mount Shasta. Oh, I know. So that would be a bit of a travel. Yeah, oh, I know, Dee. I know. We all have so many abilities. It's just about tapping into them and using them. Let me know, you guys. Let me know if that would be, I thought like a meetup would be a way to begin that energy without needing to commit to like a full retreat center or renting out a retreat center or anything like that, but just a way where we could all just fly out to a certain location and just be there together, do some group activities, different things like that, connect with nature, explore some mystical places together. You know what I mean? Clear. I love that. Two of Pentacles, set priorities. Hello, Kiana, by the way. Ultimately, we'll be going all over the world. Michael says his passport's ready to go. I love that. Hawaii. I've had a calling to Hawaii too, Kimber. Actually, a big calling to Hawaii. Yeah. Plune, I love it. Get the UFO gassed up and ready. Yes, I would love to do another trip to Egypt. I went in 2021. These are just things to think about. You went to Kauai. Dee, which island are you located on? Egypt in 2027, I would like to do. That's when we have that eclipse. The first of those two eclipses crossing in Egypt. Full solar eclipse. Peaking over Egypt. That's going to be massive. It's in the summer, so it'll be hot. Big island, okay. Yep. Interesting. So we do have some people who'd be interested in Egypt, huh? Interesting. All right, we got the Six of Swords here. I mean, honestly, I gotta say, I went to Egypt in December and it was freezing. Like, it was warm, it was nice during the day, but it was freezing early in the mornings when we would go to the temples. I mean, there are pictures of me at the Sphinx with, like, the warmest jacket I had, like, all bundled up and shivering. You know what I mean? So it would be, you gotta hit some of those temples and stuff early in the morning to avoid the crowds. So even in the summertime, like it would actually probably be somewhat comfortable when if we were out super early in the morning. Yeah. All right, you guys got me really thinking now. I mean, that would give people almost 2 years it would give people 2 years to prepare. If that's something we wanted to do. I mean, obviously, I would need to book something and set something up ahead of time. It's so a lot of those trips end up being around $6,000 before with airfare. That's what it was when I went. And that's what I've noticed with a lot of other people too. That tends to be the price point there. But if some of you guys are really interested, like it sounds like quite a few of you are, I mean, I think that would be incredible to be there for that. That energy is going to be, I don't even know what it's going to be, but I'm like, I felt very called to be there. I really did. Like, I don't think it's going to be like a bad chain of events or circumstances. I feel like the activation of the sun over that point, I'm like, my body is getting, I'm having sensations, we'll put it that way, just talking about it. Oh, that's interesting, Tara, really. Yeah. All right. We'll think about that a little bit there. So we got the Six of Swords here, needed changes. All right. So this final message, closing message here for us is just, you know, the changes that need to occur. The changes that are wanting to occur within your reality. So Spirit's saying, allow those changes to happen. You notice here, this, I've never noticed this about this card before. We have this guy walking, right? And see the sharks swimming around him? That's what's under the surface. You can even see the fin right here beside him. And he's got this little girl on his back. She's holding the swords. And there's this beautiful sunset, and she doesn't look afraid at all. Neither does he. He's literally swimming with the sharks, but he's not afraid. He's got his sights set on where he's going. He's not concerned with what's going down below, right? He's focused on what is ahead. He's focused on where he is right now. He's focused on this beautiful little girl. So there's this energy of overcoming our fears here, right? Like the sharks aren't worried about him either. They're just doing their thing. They almost feel like protectors to me in this card, actually. It's like when your fears or your demons become your protectors. When you overcome your fears, this is kind of like the traditional strength card, right? Where they're petting the lion. Yes, the seed is planted for sure, Michael. Ooh, Ty is too. Kimber, we're so happy you're here with us right now. So it's like, walk through your fears. Notice how much stronger they make you when you're willing to face them head on. Oh, Sedona's effing amazing. Sedona is so amazing. I have wanted to go back since the moment I left, honestly. So I'm thinking, we're going to get back into this in a second. I'm sorry, you guys, we're switching gears again for a second. Maybe a meetup somewhere like Sedona. And then like a big trip, maybe thinking about planning for 2027. Oh, no kidding. That's cool, Tara. Who doesn't love Sedona, honestly? It's, oh my God. I described it like, it's like a sound bath, but with energy. You literally just feel yourself bathing in frequency the whole time you're there. It's so gorgeous. It's just, it's a whole other world there. But yeah, moving back to this one more time. All right. Hello, Jennifer, by the way. Overcoming your fears, befriending your fears. This is also speaking to healing of the inner child. And I love how on the bottom of the deck we have accepting past trauma. 9 of Swords in reverse. Because I did catch me, the full moon in Pisces, forgive, was on the bottom of the deck of the Moonology, and that did catch my eye. So I love this because it's just that energy of forgive. You don't have to forget, right? You don't have to allow injustices to be repeated. But it's okay to accept in the sense of, okay, that happened. That happened. And from one perspective, right, it wasn't fair. I was victimized. Something terrible happened to me. But me feeling angry or resentful about the fact that it happened isn't going to change the fact that it happened. It's just going to keep me stuck in the past. It's going to keep me stuck in that energy. So instead of being so angry at the injustice, I'm going to choose to accept it, to release it, to forgive. And not only to forgive anybody else who's involved in a situation, but also to forgive myself for holding on to it for so long. Because that's okay. I'm only human. Okay? I'm only human. We talked about this at the beginning of the reading. I came here to have a human experience. And part of that human experience is holding on to things that no longer serve us until it isn't. Right? Part of that experience is being a victim until it isn't. Part of that experience is struggling and suffering until it isn't. And where is that line? Wherever we draw it. Wherever we decide. When does that shift occur? Whenever we decide. Then we step into this. When we finally release it, when we finally forgive, when we finally accept what is, what's happened has happened. It's in the past. It only exists within my memory. It only exists within my cellular matrix where I'm holding on to it. But I can let it go. I can move past it. I can move into this. This is that Aries energy. This is that strength. This is that determination. Yeah. Absolutely, Georgie. Any final cards here? We have believe in your good luck on the bottom of the deck here. Spirit keeps drawing me over there. And then we have step up and lead. And I think this is very relevant, full moon in Capricorn here, to all of you, all of my leaders, my new earth angels, right? We lead through compassion. We lead through example. But this is where I'm at right now. So I want us all to really look at this too. Believe in your good luck. Believe in your good fortune. Everything is always working out for me. My world is always taking care of me. This is where Spirit wants us to be, in the magic. All right, this is Sagittarius energy. This is galactic center energy, great attractor energy. There's a reason all those points exist within Sagittarius. Yeah. Lead through your example. There are more people watching than you realize. And yeah, I'm picking up for some of us too. It's like some of them may be watching, waiting for us to fail, but you know what? Whatever. sit back, enjoy the show. If I do fail, I'll get right back up and I'll do it again. And I'll keep doing that until I win. All right? So get yourself some popcorn. Have fun. Go ahead. Say what you want to say. Think what you want to think. At the end of the day, I know who I am. I know what I deserve. I know my own power. And every perceived failure is just me understanding that power to a deeper extent. Understanding and learning through trial and error how to wield that power more constructively, more potently. Don't worry about the haters. Don't worry about the people watching to see you fail. All right? Because what they're going to see is you fly. And even though they may be rooting for you to fail consciously, unconsciously, they're rooting for you to succeed so that you can prove to them that it's possible. Because deep, deep down, they just want a little bit of hope too. Your faith gives them the hope that they need to plant that little seed of possibility within them. And then for some of you guys, like Spirit's saying, kick back and relax as we're moving through eclipse season. The energies, see, a lot of people, they want to consciously try to guide the energies of eclipse season, right? They want to manifest and work with the energy. Manifest through your vibration, right? But let the energies do what they're going to do. This is all about going along for the ride, okay? I love that. And I love that the Ace of Cups came out with this. It's like everything's already in the works. Everything's already happening. You've already put in all the effort. Now you're just kicking back, putting it on cruise control, and waiting for the rewards to come through. This doesn't mean you're not taking any action. You're taking aligned action still. But you're not stressing about it. You're not worrying about it. You're not pushing through. You're just, like we said, cars on cruise control. All you got to do is steer that baby. All right. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you infinitely. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for just being who you are. Shining your beautiful light in the world. Planting some good seeds. Well, they were already seeds that were planted in my mind, but we've been talking about some of these things, seeing what you guys are interested in. Some magic that we can create together. I really think getting together in person is going to be really powerful for our tribe. So we're going to be looking at some of those things, looking at how we can put together some of that, make some of that magic happen. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Madam Chakra. Same to you, beautiful. Same to all of you. Lindsay, I don't know if I said hi to you yet. Hello, beautiful. Yeah. Faith. Much gratitude, much love to all of you. Nicole, welcome, beautiful. Seeing you there. Popping in. This was a great live stream. So everyone who missed it, go ahead and rewatch. Or if you missed part of it, like there was so much gold in here today. And it's because of all of you and the energy that you brought, that you bring, right? Thank you. I love you so much. All right. Next Wednesday, 2 p.m. I'm in the process of scheduling an aura hypnosis healing with somebody. That is a lengthy session, and there's only certain days that I'm available for that. So if it ends up being on a Wednesday, then that might get rescheduled one of these Wednesdays coming up here. But if it does, I'll post it in the community tab, like I said, and I'll also set up the live stream ahead of time so that you guys can see the date that way as well. It'll show up as upcoming. So that way everyone knows if we do miss a Wednesday, but generally speaking, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Talk to you soon. And like I said too, my website, The links for the Patreon, the links to join the channel membership, all of that is in the description box below. As we get more people with the channel membership, I'm actually going to tinker that, I think, and just simplify it a little bit. But there are going to be options on there for members only videos and live streams and stuff like that if at any point people get interested. If not, that's fine too. You know, it's just a thing that I was guided to do to open up more possibilities for people. The Patreon, we do twice a month live calls together where we connect in our energy, vibration, frequency, and we also just catch up off not offline, I guess, technically, but off YouTube and support each other and our healing and our journey. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a link for that as well. Really affordable prices for that. I'm here to serve you guys. I'm just trying to figure out how and all the different ways that I can be of assistance to you. So please continue to let me know as well. What are you looking for? What can I offer that would be helpful? I want to know. That's what I'm here. That's my mission. You know, I love you. I honor you infinitely. I'll talk to you soon.